911, do you have an emergency? You were shot.
Female 1097, advised there's blood everywhere.
What made you wake up?
A gun.
A gun? And where was your mommy?
Look on the floor.
It'll be alright.
Don't run away. I'll keep you safe. Safe in my arms.
Have you ever been to Putnam County before?
I have not. I didn't realize that there was this much open space in north central Florida.
Searching for the truth.
I bet you when you read this case you liked it.
Actually, when I read this case, it just made me mad.
Okay?
You know, you have this young mom.
25.
She has a lot going on in her life.
Tyvon Whitford was a corrections officer at GCI, which is the Gainesville Correctional Institute here in Florida. She had a 5-year-old son from a previous relationship, and she was pregnant with her second child. She was a loving mother, daughter, sister, and friend, and everybody in the community loved her.
In 2007, Tyvon Whitford was found murdered in her own home. She makes 2 calls to 911 with a bullet under her neck.
911, do you have an emergency? You were shot. What's your address? Where are you at? Ma'am?
With her son right there in the house.
It just made me mad that that's how she died, with a little boy there in the house with her.
Moments after Tyvon was shot, her son came out of the bedroom and found her bleeding to death. As a mother, I can't even imagine the terror that she must have felt lying there knowing that her baby was watching her bleed to death. Tyvon's boyfriend, Terrence Trouble Brown, was the only other person in the house. The gun was never recovered, and even though he was a suspect, Terrence was never arrested. 15 years later, this case is still unsolved. Everybody in that part of Putnam County knows Tyvon, knew her son, and nothing's happened.
How about this? If everybody knows everybody, what's the motive to kill this woman?
The biggest theory in this small town was that this crime was motivated by revenge. Tyvon's boyfriend, Terrence, was a married man, and Tyvon had confronted Terrence's wife, Hope, told her of their affair and that she was having his baby. And weeks later, Tyvon was dead.
Is it going to be her?
How are you guys?
Hi, guys.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
You must be the boss.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to be, thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Clayton, you seen him?
Hey, Clayton, nice to meet you.
And I'm Jason Theed.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Nice to meet you.
Cheers, and thanks for being part of this for us.
We're excited. Where are you going to set us up at working?
This building over here, and we got a war room set up in there for you.
You ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Anytime any partnering agency can come in and take a second look at something, look at it from a different angle, I get excited about it. It's a lot easier to work on a case when you have the manpower.
Right, we got a nice little setup here.
You can never bring the family members back that have been lost, but to try to help relieve some of that pain is why we do it.
I'm going to start off with putting Tyvon's pictures up on the board. She was only 25.
She is a corrections officer at a facility in Gainesville. She's about 6-7 months pregnant.
In addition to being pregnant, Tyvon also had a 5-year-old son, Larry Jr., whose father was not in the picture. Her boyfriend, Terrence Trouble Brown, was the father of her unborn child. And down here we have a picture of Tyvon with her son, Larry Porter Jr., and he was 5 when this happened.
Yes.
Who raised him?
Miss Dale.
She's also been pretty persistent on trying to get justice for her daughter, hasn't she?
Absolutely.
Okay, Clayton, can you start with telling us how this all started?
Okay, so on June 8th, 2007, 11:13 p.m., we get a call from Tyvon Whitford. It's garbled, she can't get out much. The phone disconnects. They try calling back several times, they can't get a hold of her. 3 to 5 minutes later, they get another call from Tyvon's boyfriend, Terrence Brown.
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. And she's going everywhere.
Terrence goes on to say that he shows up to the house and he finds his girlfriend having a miscarriage. Law enforcement responds, so they find her on the ground. The first deputy on scene identifies that she's got 2 gunshot wounds.
Bullet wound here on the left side of the neck, and then there's one in the back.
and she's shot standing where in her house?
Where the blood's at, it looks like she's standing in the front door. 2 shots were fired through the screen door.
Oh, okay.
But 1 shell casing was recovered right there on the porch. There's blood all in the house. It's not a pretty scene. When she retreats back from the door to the kitchen, we assume it's to get the phone, and that's when she calls 911.
So what about the murder weapon? What about the gun?
That's 9mm.
Yeah.
One of the big challenges with this case is that the 9mm pistol that was used to shoot Tyvon was never recovered.
Tyvon calls 911 at 11:13. So y'all think the shots are fired?
Probably 30 seconds to a minute before that.
So out in that part of Putnam County, what's going on out there on a Friday night?
Roughly a quarter mile down from the house.
No, Tyvon and Trouble. What do they all say about what happened that night?
They remember seeing his car leaving and driving by.
Before or after the shots?
Would have been after.
Okay. It's crucial that we find witnesses from the Watering Hole bar from that night. We need to find out if anybody heard or saw anything from before the gunshots. And where did y'all think her 5-year-old son was during the front door shooting?
He makes his way from his mother's bedroom where he'd been sleeping to the living room. He sees his mom on the ground and sees the boyfriend there at the house.
Where was Trouble? He left you before the ambulance got there?
Answer the question.
So he left before the ambulance got there? Okay.
There's much we don't know about the circumstances of Tyvon's murder, but here's what we do know. At some point, Terrence stopped by the gas station to buy Tylenol for Tyvon. She was shot through her screen door around 11:12 p.m. Tyvon called 911 at 11:13. She was disconnected and 911 tried to call her back. At 11:18, Terrence called 911 and claimed that he had just arrived and found her on the floor. At 11:22, the sheriff's department arrived on the scene. And shortly after, Terrence drove to inform Tyvon's parents that she had been shot, and they all returned to the scene. The question is, what all are we missing, and who does that point to? Okay. Y'all want to start with Terrence Trouble Brown? Trouble was 30 years old when this happened. Does Trouble have a prior criminal history?
He's got a bank robbery, right?
Yeah.
Pretty big thing. Most people don't rob a bank, but he served real time.
Yeah, between 3 and 4 years is what he served.
That's not when he met Tyvon, though, right?
No.
Okay. What do we know about the relationship between Trouble and Tyvon?
He describes it as, they're happy. Trouble is actually married to a woman named Hope Brown. His wife apparently knows of the relationship with Tyvon. Now, he's clearly still having a sexual relationship with Tyvon, even though he's told Hope that he's just going to be there to take care of the kid.
Many wives would be okay with their husband having an affair, especially when the other woman is pregnant with her husband's child. Y'all talked about the fact that when you were interviewing Trouble at some point, he started looking at his fingernails. What made him do that?
They say, hey, we want to do a GSR test, just check on you. And then they exit the room. Immediately upon them exiting the room, he frantically starts cleaning under his nails.
Camera's still on him.
Yeah, so.
You got that?
Yeah, we got it here
Okay.
on this is the cameras.
You would say he's nervous with his nails, but he's getting every one.
It's immediate upon.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Told him, and he's getting in there deep.
Even though many people believe that Trouble was acting suspiciously, we can't prove that he was at the house before Tyvon was shot someone. You wouldn't let them call 911.
So here is Mrs. Hope Brown.
It was a couple of months prior when she found out about the pregnancy. She's wanting to work this out and stay with him.
She says she's okay with that baby, but there were some witnesses that said it's her, not him, because he was happy about the baby.
Yeah, some of it is Terrence telling people that she did it. Where is she at the time of the murder?
I don't know if she's more of your shooter, as she has knowledge and would help him cover it up.
Now, Hope and Trouble are divorced. They've been divorced for 5 to 7 years, and I hope that'll change her wanting to come forward and tell the truth.
Hope and Trouble are no longer married and may no longer feel the need to protect one another. If one of them will talk with us, it could be the break that this case needs.
Okay, let's put up here, too, just to be thorough, the possibility that a random intruder or somebody else, unknown, killed her. If it's an unknown intruder, what's the motive?
You can't write off a corrections officer, because that's where you have to go to start out with.
GCI connection?
That's right. Unknown person that from jail just decided, I'm going to get even with you because, what happened in the prison.
This case has some complications, which is probably why it's gone cold after 15 years. But this is exactly the kind of case that deserves our attention. A mother was taken away from her child, and a baby never got to take its first breath. Whoever did this crime needs to be taken off the streets. We're going to meet Dale today, Tyvon's mother, and also her son, Larry Jr., who was 5 back then, who's 20 now. He ended up getting raised by his grandma.
Yeah, she's a strong lady, but that family's been through hell.
Yeah, she's probably the one holding it all together.
Yeah, Miss Dale is not one to let a dire go by.
Hollering for her baby.
Yeah.
Dale has talked to investigators, the state's attorney, local media. She's done everything that a mother possibly can do to keep her baby's case alive.
It's been rough. It's rough. Some days it seems like it just happened yesterday. Other days I can get through it. Other days it's really hard. Like a piece of your soul has been ripped out of you.
Here, I'll listen.
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm Kelly. I'm Dale. Nice to meet you.
You too.
My name is
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
My mom was an amazing person. We always used to just have our movie nights and pizza nights where we would just chill and bond together. She's the best in the whole wide world to me.
She was a sweetheart. She was my best friend. Just a fun, loving girl. Great mom. Yeah.
So what did she like about being a corrections officer?
Trying to keep people safe.
She had started out to trying to be a probation officer.
And when she did pass those prisoners, it was a big sympathy card. It just touched me that those prisoners and stuff cared for that much. She had a big personality. She was full of fun, full of life. She was sweet. She wouldn't hurt nobody. I would just do anything, just one last hug, something, to feel her still. God, please just help me. God, please just help me.
You've been fighting for 15 years.
Yeah, bro. Every time I'm crying, he's reaching across.
I understand what she's going through. So I just there to hold her and let her know that I'm still see her in me.
Let's go back to June of 2007.
Well, the night of the murder, I remember I had to go to bed early. I had got woken up by the gunshot. I walked down the hallway and I just see my mom bleeding out. And then he had his fist balled up like this at the door.
What do you mean balled up with his fist?
Like he was just angry, staring at her angrily, like looking down at her. But when he seen me, he jumped up like he got shot. And then he was like, oh my God, my baby. And then he darted in the road. Then I didn't see him after that. I tried to pick up the phone and call her, but I didn't know how to.
What exactly was going on with your mom?
I told her I loved her, and she said it back with blood in her mouth. And that was my last word to my mom after that.
Okay, so she was still alive. According to the 911 records, Trouble called at 11:18, and then he left the scene just when officers were arriving. Why would he leave Larry all by himself when his mother was on the floor bleeding to death? Did he have another reason for leaving the scene of the crime?
He came here to get us that night. He said Coco's bleeding. She's bleeding.
Just fell down like he was in his mind. Just
I think he's
faking a cry. That's really what he was doing.
As soon as he got that out, that crying went away.
Oh, that
Got
white
off and walked on out the house like, okay, I done did my damn job.
Y'all got in the house.
Yeah, we broke on through there.
Then the police is trying to hold me out. You can't hold a mother from a child.
Was Trouble trying to get in the house with you?
No.
What did you think about him looking for a wallet in the middle of all this?
No, ma'am. What you be looking for a wallet for?
Trouble was more concerned about his missing wallet than his dying girlfriend. What was he doing, pacing back and forth in the front yard when his girlfriend had just been shot?
That night, that bar was full.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Somebody seen something. And I said, how could y'all sit here, grew up with my child, and won't open your mouth. And it's just sad that she grew up with these people and nobody cared enough.
It breaks your heart to listen to this family. No family should have their world shattered like this. Nobody should have to wait this long for justice. Let us do what we can, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You're their rock, man.
Okay, yeah,
Keep being their rock, okay?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay, so how about the 911 tape? You read the transcript like me.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
We have access to all the 911 calls from that night, and because the timeline is so crucial, we need to review all those calls to try and make sense of what happened that night.
911, do you have an emergency? Hello? You were shot. What's your address? Where are you at? Ma'am? Ma'am?
The call with Tyvon disconnects, and dispatch tried multiple times to get her back on the line, but they never got her back.
Oh, that's the TV.
Yeah, the TV in the background.
So her phone is answered.
She just can't talk.
She can't talk.
After Tyvon's 911 call, Terrence made a call at 11:18. Is he upset because his girlfriend's just been shot, or is he rushing to try and cover up his crime?
911, do you have an emergency?
Notice there's no TV.
Do you know if she's shot? Do you want to try CPR? Can you do it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What are you doing now?
I'm out here in the road.
Not in the room.
So he's out of the house.
He's out of the house. So
So there's still a child in the house, if I'm not.
Please, sir.
Did they stop?
Police here now.
He's kind of ambiguous about whether he'll try CPR or he'll do anything.
but they noticed they didn't have like any blood on him. The responding officer on scene was covered in blood.
It's odd that his girlfriend is dying. He's asked repeatedly to perform CPR.
We're gonna go to the crime scene first?
Tyvon's house. I know where we're at, where we're going.
We can point out which way the watering hole is and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, definitely put it all into perspective for sure.
Today, we're going to get a look at the crime scene. I'm interested in seeing where the watering hole bar is in relation to Tyvon's house. Can you see it from Tyvon's? Would people there be able to see who's coming in and out of her driveway?
That's in bad shape.
The roof's caving in. I imagine that all this was cleared out 15 years ago.
But you can get why people going up and down this road all day long noticed her business.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of opportunity for people to see the cars coming in and out. It's right on the damn road.
All right, let's talk about the watering hole.
When you pull out of here,
Yeah, I mean, you can almost read that stop sign. It's that close.
right past that was where the watering hole was at.
Watering hole parking lot on a Friday night, and you're outside in the parking lot. No wonder you can hear two gunshots.
Yeah.
And you look this way.
And then you would be able to see vehicles coming in and out of here.
There were a lot of people at the watering hole the night Tyvon was murdered. And a few of them spotted trouble driving down the road a few minutes after hearing the gunshots.
So, this would be parking lot area?
Right here?
Yes. Where they would have been standing outside. I mean, you're
But it's, yeah,
right there should be where the house is.
Okay.
it's a good vantage point. I mean, from the parking lot, being able to see right down this road.
Yeah, you can see it down there pretty
Yeah.
clearly.
Tyvon's mother, Dale, was right. Anyone at this intersection the night of Tyvon's murder would have had a clear view of her house. They would have seen who was coming and going. My gut tells me that someone at the bar knows exactly what happened at Tyvon's that night. We'll split up and do our witnesses. You got your list, right?
Okay.
And we got ours.
Yep.
Okay, let's go do that.
Okay.
We've got 3 suspects in the murder of 25-year-old Tyvon Whitford and her unborn child. Her boyfriend, Terrence Trouble Brown, his wife at the time, Pope, and maybe an unknown suspect. Know that Terrence was spotted by people at the bar soon after the gunshots were heard. But what we're looking for is a witness who saw one of our suspects at Tyvon's house before the gunshots. I'm not just a prosecutor, I'm also a mother, and all All of us are determined to help this community get some answers. It doesn't look like anybody's been around lately. We got some phone numbers we can try.
This is Detective Yacino with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office.
She just kicked your ass, man.
They're just really just not answering back now.
Yeah, no. Guess we'll just move on.
Unfortunately, a lot of witnesses don't feel like talking.
I tell you something about these people out here. Some of them probably do.
Just don't like law enforcement. And sometimes people are just scared to get involved.
Would you mind sitting in the car?
Yeah.
Sit right up front here.
After a rough start, we finally found a witness that's willing to talk to us.
Patricia, thank you very much. I appreciate you making the time.
Patricia High was at the watering hole on the night Tyvon was murdered. We want to know what she remembers. Hopefully, since it's been 15 years, she's less intimidated and would be willing to talk.
See, Terrence is my son's brother. He told me not to say nothing. It's none of my business. I need to stay out of it. That was 15 years ago.
And it's still the same.
You were there on the night, I guess, of the shooting, is that right?
Yeah, we were hanging out at that bar that used to be there.
And what happened that night when you were there?
I heard the two pops, which I thought was, a gunshot. That's what drew my attention. And then with the car racing down the road, and then he's sweating, he's in a rush, and I'm just like, what the freak going on here? So then Big Dirt's like, oh, you need to mind your business, stay out people's business. I was like, this weird. So I didn't know it was actually a murder until everyone, went to see him that the young lady got shot.
Did you see the car first or the shots first?
No, I heard the shots. Then I seen the car racing down that side road.
In there by himself?
Oh, yeah.
Patricia confirms that Trouble left Tyvon's after the gunshots, though that may have been when he left to go and inform Tyvon's parents. She's a good witness, but we could use somebody who saw something before those shots.
It's helpful that she come out and told us. I already got calls saying that.
Yeah, I think that says a lot.
Yes.
Good, thank you for making time for us. Erica Clemens lived next door to Tyvon 15 years ago. She wasn't at home at the time of the murder, but arrived home not long after. We wonder what she knows about Trouble and Tyvon's relationship.
He was known for beating women.
He was known for beating women?
Yes, he beat the crap out of them.
How do you know that?
I used to tell her to hit him back.
Oh, really?
So that's who he was doing, the bank robber.
So he's got a history of violence.
Yeah, he does.
If I asked you who you thought committed this homicide, who are you going to tell me?
Hope.
Okay.
I wasn't there when the incident happened, but Hope, when she came back, was just calm. And I'm looking like he get caught with another woman, the woman dead, and you still here support him. Now, if that was me and my husband, I don't think I'd have been that calm.
Terrence told you that Hope did it, is that right?
Yeah, he said, I ain't killed Coco. Coco was pregnant with my baby. He was like, when he got home, it was a mass in the truck, and he was like, what you doing this? My gut still tell me Hope, but I know Terrence beat women.
This isn't the first time that we heard Trouble attempting on what Erica Clemens tells us. It's possible that Hope was involved. Or maybe it's just a way for Trouble to shift the focus away from himself.
Oh, she knew a lot. She had a heck of a memory.
Yeah.
So we're headed to go see a co-worker of Tyvon's, and she knows a lot about the relationship between Trouble and Tyvon.
In addition to needing more information from the witnesses at the watering hole, we need information from those who knew Tyvon personally.
They were pretty close friends. Work together, right?
And work together, yeah. This is going to be an important piece for us to get.
Clayton and I are meeting with a former colleague of Tyvon's from the Gainesville Correctional Institution.
You know her because you guys work together.
Yes, we worked together on the same ship for a little over a year.
Did she have any problems with any prisoners or anything like that?
No. We were at GCI. That was like a gravy camp.
Like minimum security?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You wouldn't know about her procedures at home, whether or not she would open the door for just anyone, or...
Oh, when it comes to that, no, she wasn't gonna, no. No one was gonna come in her house with her son in there, and she not know who they are.
Okay. So you don't think a stranger could have...
Nope. Especially with the men that we work with at the, and I'm not even talking about the inmates, our lieutenant, the sergeants and stuff, they were always telling us, don't do this at night, don't be opening the door, don't be inviting nobody to your house. We work with those type of supervisors that looked out for the women.
Talking to Tamar, the theory of an unknown suspect seems less likely. Tyvon wouldn't have opened the door for someone she didn't know.
I remember back then that she was in a relationship with a married man. She found out she was pregnant. She thought that he was leaving her wife.
That's what he's trying to convince her of.
That's what he was trying to convince her of. We have a family now. We're going to be together. I didn't know up until maybe about a month or so before she died that they would be physically fighting each other. She's my complexion, so I would see something on her arm at work. I'm like, what the hell wrong with your arm? She was like, girl, playing and fooling around and doing that. I never believed that.
This is the first person to tell us they saw bruises on Tyvon, but not the first person who suspected she was in an abusive relationship.
Who do you think did this?
For something to happen to her in her home, him.
A few of you were working the 4 to 12 shift. She told you if anything happened to me, he did it. Do you remember that?
When something did happen to her, that was why I said it had to be him. That's when 1 + 1 started equaling 2, because I don't think he wanted the baby.
Sure.
I think that was like a nail in the coffin for him. And now I'm sitting here thinking, like, did I tell her to do something that made him snap?
No.
We'll just say what we have left real quick. So far, we haven't gotten anywhere with the theory of an unknown suspect. And so far, all the witnesses that we've talked to are pointing to both trouble and hope. Now we have Cordell. He's the brother. He won't come in. He doesn't want to be involved. He says I think he's just tired and frustrated with all of it.
Hello? Is this Cordell Whitford?
Yes.
Cordell is not just Tyvon's brother. He also was a good friend of Trouble's, who originally introduced Tyvon to Trouble.
I just been dealing with guilt. If I wouldn't have introduced him to her.
She would have met him anyway, Cordell. Too small of a community. Everybody knows everybody.
It's just email lie.
You need to stop that. You really do. You need to stop that. I'm curious to know what Cordell witnessed between his sister and Trouble. He was there the day that Tyvon told Hope she was pregnant with Trouble's baby. What does he remember?
She told Hope that, she had been seeing Trouble and she was pregnant.
Okay, how did Hope act when she heard this? What did her face look like and what did she say?
Hope showed emotions towards Trouble. When we got in the car and we left, we went towards the Circle K. And what so happened, we seen Trouble getting gas. And then that's when Trouble and Coco started hollering and screaming and yelling. And
So, Trouble was confronting Coco because she had just confronted his wife, and he was angry.
Right. He got hot. And he was getting too close to Coco. That's when I got in the middle.
Oh, you ended up having to get in the middle and got that heated?
Yes.
Did you think he was going to hit her?
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting to hear about Trouble's reaction to Tyvon when he knew she had told Hope. He was furious, so furious that Cordell had to get in between Tyvon and Trouble.
I remember her saying, it's fine, it's okay, I'm going to be all right.
So if Coco tells Trouble, it's all fine, I'm going to be all right, I'm moving on, how's he going to take that?
The way he did. Go to 0 to 100 real fast.
Did you ever run into Trouble after the night of the shooting?
Yeah. And he said, bro, I ain't kill your sister. At that time, I just wanted an answer. He said, do you mind taking me to the grave? I'm sorry. So I got in the car with him, went straight to the grave site. He walked to a grave, and he dropped to his knees. And he cried literally for 5 to 10 seconds. That's when I realized I was played. I know for a fact it was an act. It wasn't real at all. I want y'all to get him. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Just please get him.
Now, sorry for the long day, man. You know how it
Yeah,
goes.
I'm used to long days.
So far, in our investigation of the 2007 murder of Tyvon Whitford, the witnesses think that her killer could have been either Hope or Trouble. If we could figure out why the murder happened that day, it may be a critical clue in solving this case.
Hi, Celia. Thank you for making time to talk with us today.
No problem.
Celia Williams was Tyvon's best friend, and few people would have known her better.
That was my best friend. I mean, that son is my godson.
Little Larry?
Yep. She loved her son. She loved her family. She was just a fun-loving person. Really got close, I think, in middle school.
Would she open the door for strangers, or how did she do things at her house?
Nah, she's not opening the door. You got to call, let her know you coming, and then she'll open the door. But she's not going to open the door for somebody she doesn't know.
So you don't think a stranger had anything to do with this?
No.
Who do you think did it?
I think Trouble did it. With her being pregnant, I think that she wanted to be with him regardless that he was married and, had a wife or whatever. So she did give him an ultimatum. I do remember that.
Okay.
Said, it's either you or her.
Okay.
I think he did it. He couldn't make his mind up. If that's how you deal with something, you're going to kill somebody. But
If Tyvon gave Trouble an ultimatum, how would he respond? Especially when she already confronted his wife about her pregnancy.
that's my best friend.
That's such a sad...
At all. That's just my
Aw.
best friend.
Would this ultimatum be enough for him to kill Tyvon?
What she said really hurt. She's never had another best friend since then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so it's probably
let's try that number. That's good. And June the 6th might be her last day at work instead of the 7th.
yeah.
In looking over the case file, it seems as if Tyvon had gone on maternity leave just the day before her murder. That's pretty odd timing. Each one of them knows a different little piece of the story, because you know how you talk at work all day long, right?
Yeah.
And I think she told him a lot about her pregnancy and her relationship with Trouble. Today we want to focus on Tyvon's colleagues at work to see what they might remember.
Hello?
Hello, is this Scotty Moore?
Yes, it is.
I'm Detective Theodem with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. I've reopened the investigation into Tyvon Whitford.
I'm sorry, I just was under the impression that this was taken care of.
No, it is still an open case.
Wow.
Scotty Moore was a corrections officer who worked with Tyvon at GCI. More importantly, he was also her friend.
She was a good person. Everybody liked her. She was well respected, and she was a great officer. She was probably would have been moving up in ranks in due time. With that relationship, she felt like she was more so the wife.
She really thought there was a time that he was going to leave his wife for her.
Yes.
And then eventually, what did you see as far as Tyvon's, attitude or demeanor or change when she realized it just wasn't going to happen?
She was more depressed and down, and I also remember the last fight, she had bruises. I think she had a black eye or something. Prior to that incident, she had put him out. He wasn't going to let her go. It's kind of like, you're my property.
That if I can't have you, nobody can mentality.
Yes. I tried to convince her to get out of it. I really did.
Her murder was on Friday, June the 8th. The last conversation you had with her was on June the 6th, so 2 days earlier.
Right.
Because she turned in her maternity papers to take leave. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do recall that.
That would be her last day of work? You y'all saw her? Okay.
When you heard she was shot, what was the first thing that jumped to your mind?
I felt like it had something to do with that guy because of how abusive he was to her. I think the last conversation we had more so about she had to move on.
People that knew Tyvon the very best, Cordell and Scotty and Celia, they're telling us that she was done with Trouble.
That was my friend, and I have no problem with testifying.
Wonderful. And after she gave him an ultimatum, she ends up dead. But he wanted her dead more, Trouble or Hope. We're not ready to rule either one of them out at this point. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I like him.
Alright, so we know this.
We want to review the timeline for the night of Tyvon Whitford's murder. While much is still a mystery, we do know that she called 911 at 11:13 p.m. after being shot. And our suspect, Terrence Brown, called at 11:18, claiming that he had just arrived and he was unaware of what happened.
Around 11:05, 11:10 is when he's at that gas station, gets the Tylenol. We suspect somewhere between 11:11 and 11:13 is when she gets shot. We know she makes the call at 11:13, so depending on how quick she gets that door shut and gets over to the phone,
Why would he let her call 911 and possibly name him as the shooter? And why didn't Larry see him with the gun in his hand when he came out of the bedroom?
From the time this call comes in to the time his call comes in is 5 minutes. However, if she's shot back at maybe 2 minutes before at 11:11, that gives you a 5 to 7 minute window. The argument happens, he's walking out the door, he shoots her right there, but he's, I just shot her, I've got to get rid of this gun. He rather could leave in a vehicle, or he could have walked on foot and thrown that gun somewhere, put it in a trash can, threw it under a house, did something. Comes back, makes his 911 call, he's still on scene, and we know the units pull up. Then after the units and everybody are on scene, somewhere between this 11:25, 11:30, that's when people see he's left in the car to get the parents.
There are two possibilities. The first is that Terrence is telling the truth. He arrived at Tyvon's house shortly after the killer fled. The other is that he did shoot Tyvon, left briefly to ditch the gun between 11:12 and 11:18, and returned possibly unaware that she had already called 911. Could that have been when Patricia High saw him speeding away from the house?
The first time a vehicle's seen leaving that yard, it's his.
So they're going to do a build out today with the exact dimensions we need. Front screen door to where her phone was by the pizza box to where she collapsed by the TV. So we can talk about all that. No one has lived in Tyvon's house since the murder, and the house is falling apart. So we've recreated the interior to help us walk through what we think happened that night. This is the size of our entire house right here.
It's not much bigger than this. This is the key setup.
Okay. So the question is, what can the space tell us about the killer? So standing right here in the front yard, what are we going to talk about out here first?
Her car would have been like right here. This is the approximation of where the shell casing was found, one of the two. He could have shot from outside of the porch or being standing on the porch.
I think he shot from the porch.
I think he did too.
Just because of where the shell casing lands, right? The shell casing is going to come out of the gun and go behind you.
Police recovered one of the two spent shell casings, and with the powder burns on her door screen, it's safe to say that the killer was standing extremely close to the door when they pulled the trigger.
Okay, Clayton, do me a favor. Be the shooter and walk up, and then do whatever you think happens to get her to come to the door.
Knock, knock.
Opens this door, steps up.
Potentially, the argument starts here. He's got the gun tucked in. They start arguing. Here at the door, she's got the door cracked, and he then pulls the gun out.
She sees the gun, and she knows he's not playing. To me, she's closing that door and backing up.
Bang, bang. Shoots her twice.
Tell me where it goes in.
So it goes in right here and comes out over here.
All right,
No, she's like right
here.
out in front of
So
us.
she falls. She's got the phone in her hand. Yeah. When she's talking to 911, she's on the floor talking. We know it's hard to understand her, and she's gurgly.
Yep. She's bleeding inside her lungs. She's dying.
I can't imagine the horror that ran through Tyvon's mind. Shot in the neck with her unborn baby in her belly and her young son in the room next door. And while she didn't identify her killer on the 911 call, a big clue may be what's missing from the scene.
And I think what's critical to this spot right here is this is what witnesses describe him looking for his wallet, remember?
Yeah.
And there's only one shell casing found there, right in the area that he's looking. In the dark, at night.
We've heard that Terrence was strangely looking for his wallet in the front yard.
He walking backwards and forward on the crime scene, like pacing, looking for his wallet.
I think it's more likely he was trying to recover that second shell casing.
What are the chances of a stranger coming in to fire the shots through the door that she never would have opened the door for anyway?
If you buy that somebody else did it besides Trouble, looky here, I'm going to be the other shooter, and I'm going to drive off. Whether I drive this way or this way, how's nobody going to see my car?
Shots draw attention. So when the shots are heard, everybody starts looking that direction.
What do they
They don't see any vehicles but Trouble.
There's no way in the world the coincidence is what that happened. It doesn't work. In the whole wide world, who had her pregnant? Who was she dumping? Who had the temper? Who had the gun? Who did they all see? There's no way.
Miss Brown, would you mind talking to us for a few minutes?
We're here to talk about Coco's case. After our crime scene mock-up, it seems unlikely that someone other than Terrence could have shot Tyvon and fled without him seeing them as he arrived. What about Hope, the woman he was married to at the time he was having an affair with Tyvon?
Okay, well, I'm cooking.
I can smell it. I
Yeah,
can
it smells good.
So you can come in.
We know that Tyvon confronted Hope with the news that she was pregnant with Terrence's baby. Could Hope have been capable of murder after learning about that kind of betrayal?
That night, I had talked to him, and he was on his way home to eat dinner.
And he stopped over there.
And then all of this, that blew up.
Did he ever tell you back then that he had been to her house that same day?
Yes, he had been there.
To the day of the murder. So how is Terrence there so damn fast after she gets shot? That doesn't make any sense, right? Did he tell you that they had broke it off that day or the day
He had
before?
been telling me this for the longest. And we never had a conversation for weeks before that. That's when I found out she was pregnant. Oh, well.
That's when she came to your house and let you know.
Yes.
And y'all confronted him on
Yeah,
that?
because he was seeing another girl on her.
Okay, yeah.
They're wondering, did you do it?
But I can't be mad with the woman. I was married to Terrence. Terrence was supposed to be loyal to me.
Did you know that he told the story that he found a ski mask and
Gloves
in your car? Had you ever heard that?
No.
He's saying you did it.
I promise you. That's not me.
If you were asked today whether you were so mad about that woman being pregnant with this baby back then, what would you say?
If that was the case, I'd have killed her. And everybody else, so no.
Hope has a point. Tyvon wasn't the first person Terrence ever cheated on her with and wasn't the only baby mama in the picture. Hope never had any other violent confrontations with any of the other women, so why would she have started with Tyvon?
Did he ever beat on you?
Yes. And he cut me, too.
What did he cut you with?
A straight razor.
What made him cut you?
He stayed at house that night. And he came home and I told him, the best thing you can do, I had all his stuff on the bed, is you take all your stuff, have her to come and back in the yard and get all your stuff out of my house, because I don't need you.
He got mad that you were done with him.
Yes, and he cut me. He cut me. And I told this girl, you see what I'm going through? He's cheating on me, and I'm his damn right. I know it's bad to hate somebody, but I hate that man. He's ruined my life.
After talking to Hope, it's pretty clear that she had a violent and volatile relationship with a man who blamed her for killing the woman he cheated on her with.
But that man, I don't know. He gonna get paid back for the same thing he done.
My name is Clayton Ucino. I'm a detective with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office.
We're following up on an eyewitness report of a man who knew both Tyvon and Trouble and was outside the watering hole on the night that she was killed.
Before we go any farther, how you get my phone number?
The evidence is pointing at Trouble, but in a case like this, you're always looking for more.
How do you get my phone number?
Oh, I'm the police, man. I just looked your number up. I'm just calling to pick your brain to see if you know anything about Coco's murder back in 2007.
I remember her mom coming to me and asked me if I knew anything, and I tell them what I knew.
Tyvon's mom, Dale, has talked to just about everybody about her daughter's case. Keenan is only talking to us out of respect for Dale.
This particular night, I'm coming by her house. When I came by, his car was in the yard. So I kept going. I never did stop. When I came by, his car was there. I walked to the bar. Mom was crossing. I was shooting at him. I heard a second gunshot. I said, see how I just shot you? Not even 3 to 5 minutes after the gunshots. Triple car backed out the yard. He spin goes going real fast. He said he came there and found her there. I was like, oh, nah, he ain't found her there. Because when I came through there, his car was there.
Yeah, okay.
This information is crucial, and this is exactly what we needed. It places Trouble at Tyvon's before the gunshots.
You walk by the house and you see his car out front of Coco's house.
Right.
You're walking towards the watering hole bar.
Right.
And then within 5 or 10 minutes, you hear the shots.
Right.
And then he pulls away from the house.
All right. Well, 10-4, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Holy cow. That was a great interview.
Yes.
So let's hope that Trouble knows you're coming and he thinks he's so smart, he comes up with some new version of what happened.
Yeah, or he knows we're coming and we ain't gonna find him.
Yeah.
Is what I'm
And
worried
y'all can strategize on your drive up there, but just remember He knows the case. Don't bluff with an incorrect fact because he's going to know right away you're bluffing.
He'll see right through that. He's not worried about going to jail. He's not afraid of talking to the cops because he thinks he's smarter.
Yeah. Back him in a corner. See what he does. You want to hit the road?
Yes.
We now have a witness that places Terrence at Tyvon's before and after the gunshots. This is one hell of a circumstantial case.
Ready? Good.
Hello? Not sure which one is the front door. We're breezy out.
Hey,
what's up, man?
Terrence? Yes, sir. Hey, man, my name's Clayton Yusina. I work with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. Yes, sir.
The only thing we're missing is a confession, but I'm not holding my breath for that.
So, we appreciate you talking with us. We know that y'all were dating at the time. We just kind of want to run through it and see what you can remember and what details you can give us from that night.
Up until what point?
Hey, just start from that day. Tell us, like, kind of earlier in the day,
Before I got ready to go see her, I called her, and I asked her what she was up to, and she was saying nothing, that her head was hurting and stuff like that. Could I bring her some Tylenol? So I went out, I left the store. As I'm pulling in the yard, she keep her light on, her front porch light on, looked like blood on the door. As I'm seeing this all as I pull up.
Do you think you might have passed the suspect as you pulled up?
When nobody, I didn't see nobody going over the top of the hill or anything with nobody passing by. And blood. It was so much blood. I don't know if she was stabbed or nothing at the time. I'm freaking out. I never seen nobody like this. So I grab her. I started screaming for her son. You know what I'm saying? Little Larry at the time. Her son she had. But I ran in the room. I looked. He was asleep. So I get on the phone. I'm calling 911. I'm trying to talk to her. I'm freaking out. Miss Adame was coming in the yard at the time. She said, I just heard something sound like a firecracker. I thought it was you. I said, no, I just pulled over here. So I gave Miss Adame Larry.
And you said he's still sleeping?
Yes. I went and got him out the bed.
There's just a lot of inconsistency. You go in there and waking him up. I mean, he was in the living room. And
he wasn't in the living room. Man, listen, wasn't nobody in there but me.
And the deputies weren't there?
They wasn't there yet when I left. Wasn't Putnam County slow as
That's just not correct, though. I can tell you the facts on it. All right. So
you wasn't there that night.
Correct, but I have all the evidence. All right. 11:18 is when you make the call.
God.
11:22 is when the first officer on scene. And you went out in the middle of County Road 21, and you're standing in the road flagging the officer down.
I'm out here in the road. Please, sir.
Did they stop?
Police here now.
You flagged the cop down. I can tell you the
where's
exact seconds. All right.
Where's the gun? Where's the GSR test?
You had GSR. You had GSR on both of your hands and all over your clothes.
I shot a gun earlier that week out there in the woods. I don't know, sir. So much happened that night. I don't freaking know.
You had GSR on both of your hands and all over your clothes.
And do you remember how they did the test on you?
Yeah, they rubbed some shit on my hand.
Okay, when he walked out, the video shows you digging all up in your nails. What was that for?
Oh, I do that. I always clean my nails. That's like a thing I do. My nerves, when I get nervous, I do that.
Did you ever find your wallet that night?
I don't remember anything about a wallet. I mean, did I say I dropped a wallet?
Yeah, everybody, we've talked to 4 or 5 different people that were out there at the scene that said you were pacing around looking for a wallet out there. But the key to us that's important, right, is you're there at the scene within minutes of this shooting by your own call, right?
So what are you getting at, bro?
Why do you keep telling us so many different stories?
I'm not giving you too many different stories.
And why are you pouring sweat right now?
Because I'm aggravated. I got hypertension. I take Xannies and all. I'm not no American gangster and tow guns and shoot people. I don't do that.
This interview has clearly struck a nerve. He's sweating. He's getting agitated with the questioning. He hasn't asked us how's the case going, or if there's any for no other reason than to clear his own name.
Were you and Coco breaking up right before that day?
No, sir.
Did she tell you she wanted to end things with you?
No, sir. You barking up the wrong tree. You need to go holler at Hope. None of y'all dumbasses never, excuse me for saying this.
Hope
not you, but Putnam County need to go talk to her. Because, listen, I'm going to tell you this. When I came outside, I look out by the road and stuff, and I don't see nobody. But I see tire prints. It looked like truck prints. At that time, we had a Durango.
I gotta tell you, Terrence, it sounds like you're trying to put this on Hope.
None of this information was given to law enforcement in any of your prior interviews.
Did Hope tell you she did it?
No. That Wednesday, I just told Hope that I didn't want to be with her no more. Now, I didn't know if she knew about me and Coco or whatever.
She knew Tyvon was pregnant.
See, I didn't know that.
You told the cops 15 years ago in 2007 that she knew. That is what you told the cops.
Okay.
And you stayed with her for another 2 years? Weren't you afraid of her putting some bullets in you?
No, I was watching her.
You were watching her?
Yeah. I was waiting on her to say some more extra so
Yeah.
I could go to the sheriff office and put them people on her.
Everyone knew that Tyvon was pregnant. People in town knew that Tyvon had confronted Hope about it. Cordell was there when his sister told Hope that she was pregnant. Terrence has already told this to law enforcement, so it's a strange lie to tell now.
Everybody points at you, right? Why is everybody pointing at you? Why are they focused on you? Why are they not pointing at Hope?
Because they don't want to see that.
Okay.
Do you think some people think you're being dishonest?
Yeah. And I ain't, man.
Okay. So I just want to go over every little piece here. What I see is a woman who's got a straight up job, having an affair with a guy who's married, whose wife is not happy. You would be my number one suspect. I mean, who has a motive to kill this woman?
You know what? I shouldn't have came and found her there. Then y'all would have been in somebody else's face today. Don't try to flip nothing around.
I'm not.
To look for a loophole.
I have not.
To try to solve this case. Don't try to do all that.
Terrence, have you ever lied to the police in talking with them?
No, but I'm tired of talking, bro.
All right.
I'm going to get my lawyer.
All right.
You're good then.
Thank you
for talking with us.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get. Like I told you, y'all need to go holler at Hope.
All righty. Thank you, Terrence.
That was a stunning interview. The tears, the sweating, the inconsistencies. I didn't believe a word of it.
He lied a whole bunch on things that he didn't need to lie on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, y'all got the boss man here today, huh?
Yeah, we do.
Nice. Today we're going over what we've discovered, theories off the board, and focus on who we think is responsible for this crime. So on day one, we put up on the board unknown intruder. And now that we've talked to all these witnesses, is it possible that Tyvon was shot by an unknown intruder?
We've come across no one that's had any ill will or any negative things to say about her. There's no bad blood at work.
Did she have any problems with any of the inmates or anything like that?
No. Everybody liked her. She was well respected, and she was a great officer.
She might be the most favorite corrections officer GCI's ever had.
Right.
That's what we've heard.
Everyone that knows her, so she's not going to open that door for a stranger.
So everybody's good with scratching that off the board.
I think we can remove that as an aspect of this case.
Yes. All right. Hope.
Our witness that said, it could be Hope, was based off a conversation that she had with Terrence, where Terrence said that she had a ski mask and these other items in her car.
She did give the same accounts that she gave previously 15 years ago, so nothing has changed other than she disclosed the violent temper because she didn't want to do it at the time because she was married to him. There's also 5 other baby mamas.
Why didn't she kill
Why didn't she kill the other 5?
She said that.
If that was the case, I'd have killed it. And everybody else, so no.
I look at her now as a victim in this whole thing.
Yeah.
He throws her under the bus and then drives the bus over the top of her.
So is everybody in agreement that Hope Brown comes off the board?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing in our interaction with Hope made us think she had anything to do with this. She let us in, she talked, she remembered her own violent and tumultuous relationship with Trouble. We don't buy that Hope was involved. All right, so now we got our whole board over here dedicated to Terrence Trouble Brown. All right, Hope, she does tell you that what really happened in her marriage with Trouble.
There was one time that he got caught with another woman. She told Trouble to have one of his girls come over and pick his stuff up. Trouble got upset.
And he sent me too.
What did he cut you with? And how about the witnesses from the watering hole?
No, I heard the shots. Then I seen the car racing
Oh, you saw the car racing.
up out down that side road.
He came there and found her there. I'm like, oh, no, he ain't found her. Because when I came through there, his car was there.
The best piece of evidence is the person with the greatest motive for killing this woman shows up within minutes of her being shot.
And remember the 911 dispatcher saying, "Can you give her CPR?" He doesn't answer.
Do you want to try CPR? Can you do it? No.
He can't tell us the truth about it when we interview him 15 years later.
There's just a lot of inconsistency.
I don't know, sir. So much happened that night. I don't freaking know.
And you have law enforcement officers, corrections officers telling you, "Wife, he can have his wife. I am done with him and keeping my baby and raising my baby on my own."
Yeah, but
And lo and behold, he ends up dead. After our investigation, we are all in agreement that the evidence points directly at Terrence Brown.
The plan's to go ahead and put it before the state and let us know how they feel about it, and then we'll be able to get those answers to the Whitford family.
Let's go tell her.
Okay, let's go. You always want that little extra piece or two, but yeah, I absolutely think that this has been a good case.
Couldn't have turned out any better.
Yeah.
How old are you? 33?
34.
So let me tell you something, because I'm old. I don't work in the world of confessions and DNA. I work in the world of circumstantial evidence cases. This is a good case, and you need to know that, so that for the rest of your career, and as you promote up in the ranks, you got to keep believing in these kinds of cases.
Yeah,
Don't start
trust me.
thinking like a lawyer. You keep thinking just the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
After spending time in Putnam County, we gotta let Miss Dale know what all we learned from the community. She needs to know how many people did all that they could to help her get justice for Tyvon. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
This is our son, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Kelly, nice to meet you.
I'm Clay.
Nice to meet you.
So, it's been a good week. We've went back through this case, top to bottom. We've come to the conclusion that Trouble's our suspect. Okay. We've got nothing that would point to anyone else.
I can breathe a little bit. I can breathe.
We've got a meeting with the state attorney's office. We're optimistic that everything that we've come through over the last week or so has hopefully got us over any of those hiccups.
We're hoping finally you're gonna get some justice for your baby.
Ain't gonna get her back, but I know somebody's gonna pay for it.
I appreciate what you said. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Detective Clay. Thank y'all.
Very welcome.
We can see that. Thank y'all so much. Some days it's rough, some days it's fair. Some days, it's just... You just have to look up in the sky and ask God to just keep giving you strength to keep going.
It's okay. They got it, son. They got it, man.
We just weren't late. Because, man, 15 years is a long time. That's a burden you had to take day in, day out.
I'm grateful, but it still don't justify the fact that I had to lose my mom that night.
I'm just angry,
I don't blame you. You're angry that it's taken so long, and you're angry at Terrence.
Yeah, I'm grateful for everything, but it's just hard.
Just know that your community is behind you.
And y'all should know, when we would knock on the door, people would go, "Y'all gotta get justice for Miss Dale."
I know the community was behind it, though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be alright, son.
They got it. They got it. Same person you kept telling me for 5 years old that I held my breath for 15 years.
This case is a beautiful reminder of why it's important for us to keep working on cold cases. Every family deserves justice. All communities need answers. It's like Dale said, just to be able to breathe a little bit easier. You're welcome, baby.